Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for the first game that we are covering of the New Zealand Sevens. This one is going to be very exciting. It's happening in Toulouse, and they are going to be playing up against the USA, but it should be, I guess, a rarity that we get to actually see these two sides play. I think someone earlier on mentioned that it was 2 years since these two sides have played off, but for New Zealand in this matchup, they have gone with Sam Dixon, Dylan Collier, Sione Mulia. Then it is also going to be Joe Webber, Regan Ware, Naroni McGarvey Black, and Leroy Carter in the starting lineup. Now, him and Jordan Edmund seems to have a little bit of something going on from that first matchup. Those two had a bit of a push and a shove, and in the end, I think it was actually Leroy Carter who got himself a yellow card. Then for the USA, it is going to be Thomas Seen, Joe Schroeder, then David Still, then it is Perry Baker, Kevon Williams, Lucas Lecamp, and also Esdale, but no sign of Carlin Isles. That is the name that I was thinking of. But of course, Perry Baker actually ended up getting injured in the last series, so it is great to see him back for this matchup. In New Zealand, they will have to try and use some of those young guys, but also those experienced veterans. They are going to have the likes of, I really like what Kitione Vai has been doing recently. So hopefully he does end up going all right for himself off the bench. Same with Brady Rush in this game. But then the USA, they've got Marcio Brown and also Falau Nuia, who are two very quick men, two speedsters, if you will, for it. And it is going to be very exciting to see exactly how this one goes. New Zealand, they're ranked 11th. The USA, they are ranked 4th. New Zealand, they are continuing that climb ever since they were having quite a bit of time out from the Sevens. And also we've got that Mirka in there as well. Says Carafog, mate, hope you are doing well once again. I didn't actually realize there was about a 10-minute break between those last two games. I ended the Samoa Irish stream pretty much straight away thinking I was going to have to rush, and then I went on to it and saw that there was 10 minutes, and I was like, oh, whoops. I guess I could have probably stuck around a bit longer than just running pretty much straight away. But now, Kevon Williams going to be leading out the USA. Sam Dixon leading out the New Zealanders. They are just waiting for the nod to be able to run out. We're waiting. They're right there. Now they are running out. And also we have got the this is going to be a good one, says Flesh, and it certainly is. And I'm hoping New Zealand will look a little bit safer than they did in their first game. I should mention, USA were able to beat Australia in their opening fixture, whereas New Zealand, they won 19-0, but a lot of those tries did actually come in the later stages of the match, I should say, compared to what we saw from the USA, which was pretty consistent throughout the match when they were able to win 24 points to 19, but it was 0-0 in that game between New Zealand and Scotland for the first 7 minutes. There's going to be an Italian referee in charge of this one. Genici ready to go in Toulouse. And it looks like the crowd, there's not a huge crowd, and unfortunately, but hopefully tomorrow they do get a lot more people in attendance. But Leroy Carter, he will be ready to go for this match. USA all the way, says Viniana there. And currently the USA, they are doing very nicely in terms of those standings of the overall Sevens. I think they're 4th. No, sorry, they're actually 5th. I should have mentioned. So they're doing not too badly. Joe Schroeder, he will be ready to go. And also, where's Katie at? Says Gareth, I'm sure she will be here relatively soon, but it is going to now be kicked off by the USA. Thomas Seen gets us underway in New Zealand for the win, says Roikus Jacobs. And welcome in to anyone from New Zealand or the USA. At the moment, New Zealand, we are sitting 5:30 a.m. So it is pretty early for ourselves, or late if you haven't gone to bed like myself. But now McGarvey Black goes back across to Joe Webber, and he steps and he goes, and it's going to be hard to stop him here, Joe Webber. It looks like maybe the foot race, he will be able to win it. Yes, he does, and Lecamp unable to catch him. And just like that, New Zealand score in the first 24 seconds of this match. And that looked too easy for Joe Webber. It was as if, what happens here? So he steps. Thomas Seen gets thrown the wrong way, and that's it. He was gone, and he does manage to score the first try of the match. Unfortunately for them, they needed someone with that Perry Baker speed to try and cut him off. Kevon Williams knew he wasn't going to be catching Joe Webber there, and he is able to go in for that first try of the match for New Zealand. And also, because Hamish, it's so long to see All Blacks play international match. What is your prediction today? CS Coding. So at the moment, New Zealand, they're looking pretty decent against the USA in the first little while of this match. Only a minute gone, and they have been able to get themselves a 7-0 lead. I'd say New Zealand win by 12, but that could be optimistic because, of course, USA were able to beat Australia. So I think New Zealand, even though they started this match like a dream start, I think USA will fight back relatively soon. That one's going to be on the side of Joe Schroeder. He does end up putting it into touch, and now New Zealand will have themselves this line out. They want to take it quickly. Sam Dixon does take it fast, and they want to keep this one alive. Leroy Carter goes off to Joe Weber now on the outside, off to Dylan Collier, who's actually missing a number on the back of his shirt. Now off to Joe Weber. Once again tries to step around Thomasin, but he has been able to make the tackle that time. And it was also Esdale who helped make that one. Now nice attack and run here from New Zealand. Sam Dixon steps on the inside. Nice feed from Regan Weir. He goes down inside of the 22 New Zealand. Like I mentioned, they've had a majority of the position for this matchup. Wide sling and pass out to Joe Weber. And he's going to go in. He jogs for the corner. And he does manage to get himself his second try of the match. Now New Zealand leading 12-0 after only 2 minutes. Joe Weber getting his second of not just this match, but also of the Toulouse series. Sam Dixon, he knew that he could lure in two defenders if he got it right. He was able to commit Schroeder and also Williams. And then from there, Regan Weir was also able to commit the two, all right, although I think Coding is thinking of the Union All Blacks. I will see them in action against Ireland in July as well, says Sebastian. That is very true. They will be taking on the Irish. And then there is also the Pacific Cup. I do see that is coming up, which is pretty awesome. And also, who's the captain for the All Blacks in this match? They have got, at this stage, Sam Dixon for the All Black Sevens side as their captain. That one just goes out to the right-hand side, so that will be unconverted. And the score remains at 12-0 in favour of New Zealand after 3 minutes. I was not expecting this. I thought it was going to be a close one. But currently, New Zealand have had all of the ball, although that could be the mistake. Did it go, Jen? It didn't. So now USA will get their first chance of touching the ball in this matchup. Sam Dixon a little bit disappointed with that one. They will be going for the scrum now in favour of the USA from 50 metres out. So they definitely need to, I mean, they're just showing a stat here. No carries, no passes, no offloads for the USA. At least this time, as long as they win the scrum, they will have their first touch of this ball. Wow, this matchup. And Perry Baker, he is on the field. We haven't actually seen that man running as of yet. But as soon as he does, you know about it because he normally makes his way straight to the try line and can get himself a huge amount of points for the USA. And the USA coach, wonder whether or not he's nervous at this point in time. It's brilliantly done from New Zealand at scrum time, but it will now be going into the hands of a Lucas LeCamp. I think it's been ripped out of his hands, was it? No, he's just been able to hang on to it. Now Kevon Williams goes across. Thomasin. This looking nice for the USA now. It's going to be the youngster David Still, who is very quick as well. He has been compared to the likes of a Perry Baker for that acceleration that he does possess now. Joe Schroeder goes back across to Thomasin, and now it will be David Still. Nice footwork. In fact, now it is going to be Still. Who did end up with it now? Schroeder. It's going to be the offside advantage to the USA. LeCamp gets the bounce pass. Now stepping back on the inside, dragged down by McGarvey Blake, but springs back up to his feet. Leroy Carter able to make another tackle now. Perry Baker instead of going around the side, but instead pass it back off. Now it's in the hands of Baker down the wing, getting trapped by the New Zealand defence. And this is good work from New Zealand to force USA almost back to their own half here. In fact, now they're in their own half. It's going to be David Still, uses that beautifully, gives it off to Thomasin. Let's try and make his way through. That was a brilliant offload. He flicked around the back, and now the USA just keeping this ball alive. They know that if it goes to the breakdown, they'll be in some trouble. Now it's starting to open up on the outside. And here's Dale. Beautiful offload. Tunnel of Camp, and that is just classy from the USA. It was offload after offload, perfectly put. And then it is the try. Okay, the referee had actually already given it as a try. I was wondering what happened with Lucas LeCamp there. Good morning with Rugby On as well. And ASD Rugby has requirement for height like basketball because most of the players are very tall. And the SES coding, not normally, although sometimes if it's a lock, you would definitely end up having a big man, just because normally with the lifting kind of game, you do want someone with a bit of extra height in there. Come on, boys. And there says USA Rugby League and Union fan, and you will be very happy with that try. Beautifully done by the USA. It was just pass after pass, offload after offload. Plenty of silky skills. And yeah, Lucas LeCamp managed to not put that ball down, but they do have to kick it close to the touchline, and the score now is going to be sitting at 12 points to New Zealand and 5 to the USA, and no height requirements. In fact, something most scrum halves can't go on any rides at the amusement park. See Sebastian there as well. Yeah. Gotta hate those rides, don't you? Although, to be fair, I'm not much of a roller coaster fellow myself. I'm normally a bumper cars or arcade. rather than going on something that will flip me upside down. Is that same as you guys, or are you guys like roller coaster junkies? Like some people just can't get enough of going on a roller coaster. Like I hate when you like go down a hill too fast and you go, ooh, that's kind of like that weird feeling, isn't it? But now going straight through Regan, Weir, good acceleration, ball on the inside. Gives it off. I believe it was Sione Mulio who did have that one. Now Joe Webber, if New Zealand can score again before the end of this first half is over, that is Ford. That is not Ford. They haven't called it. So I guess we continue. Sam Dixon now offloads it to Dylan Collier. Great low tackle made. Now another offload to Regan Weir, trying to find some acceleration, just spinning. It's a deliberate knockdown from Perry Baker, and he knows that he's going to be going to the bin, unfortunately. And also we have got there, George, I'm stress eating in the kitchen. As I says, Katie, what is on the menu, Katie? Do let me know. I do enjoy a visit to the kitchen, definitely at random hours of the night. Sometimes you find stuff that you didn't even realize you had. Like for me, because I sleep during the day, I wake up and someone's been out getting all the food, and then I come back and I'm like, how did this all get here? And then it's normally all gone. And I love myself a roller coaster, can't lie. And there's Sebastian. See, I went on one that was the Scooby-Doo roller coaster, if you know what that is. But my babysitter set me up. She was like, oh, it's just pretty much, it's a little track. And you go around, there's a little up and there's a little down, and then it's done. She didn't tell me you go up a massive ramp and then go down it backwards as well. So I feel like I've had trust issues since then. And also English muffin with orange marmalade. That is going to be halftime now. And that will be 12 points to 5 in favour of New Zealand. So USA won't mind that too much with the fact that New Zealand had a majority of the possession in the early stages of the match. But the USA able to fight back with one. It was anything but just a little nice roundabout. And then you went up and down. So I went on the bumper cars quite a few times there. I think there was at Movie World, or yeah, it must have been Movie World now that I think about it, if it was Scooby-Doo. Like they're saying, it's hot currently here in Toulouse. It's about 28 degrees Celsius. In fact, they've just said it's actually 30 plus now with the sun out. So that is not easy to try and, I guess, manage the hydration side of things. And that's lovely, Katie. Or that sounds lovely, Katie. Says Sebastian there as well. And also, I thought we had some leftover tacos from yesterday, but they're all gone. That would have been quite sad, I would think. Do you, tell you what, this is a question for you, Katie. Let's just say you have a leftover taco in there. How does one heat up a leftover taco? Do you, like, microwave it? Or do you take the inside out of it, microwave that, and then put it back in the shell? Or do you, like, put the shell in the oven? I don't know how you would. Do let me know. I'm actually genuinely curious. Okay. Let's give them that far edge off kickoff as the comment from the USA. And also I just got KFC dunked wings. What are dunked wings? And also we have got that, how nice the shit cold. Says Katie. I guess that's the thing. I am a bit like that. I'm like, I can't be bothered heating it up. Like pizza. Some people are like, you're weird for eating pizza cold out of the fridge. But it's like, but then I have to heat it up. And then what if I just can't be bothered waiting 20 minutes? And also, is there any amusement park or adventure island in New Zealand? Do you have gone to any? I don't think I've been to any in New Zealand. Normally, if you want to go to theme parks and whatnot, you do actually have to go to Australia to be able to go to like the good ones. Overall, we've probably got a couple roller coasters, maybe if we're lucky, but nothing too crazy, I don't think. And also, we've got the muffin and marmalade. I never had that. Sounds lush. And there as well says flesh. And lush is such a lush word as well, isn't it? They are the Zinger wings dunked in honey soy sauce. See, I know recently KFC here have brought in something that's like boneless chicken. Like I know, which literally sounds like something that everyone's probably had, but like it's boneless spicy chicken or something like that. I think they've called it. George will love it. Cold Indian or Chinese takeaway on a Sunday morning. And there says flesh and amen. I talked to my mum earlier today, and I'm still like a little kid at heart. That's a knock on from Dylan Collier. Yes, it is. And it is going to be the scrum. So pretty much I was like, hey, mum, do you think we'll end up getting any pizza on like Tuesday? And she was like, oh, we could do. And I was so happy because I haven't had Pizza Hut since talking about Pizza Hut last time. And that's like a full month or so. So I feel like I am going to have some sort of pizza, probably make a pig of myself and be bedridden for like 5 days and then be back for Super Rugby because I've eaten like 6 pizzas And also, there are so many donuts in this house. Why? Says Katie. And also, it is very lovely, brother. And there as well, says Katie Dixon. Yeah, into honey and soy or honey soy sauce sounds interesting. And yum cold noodles to soothe the head. And there as well, says Gareth. Is that actually a thing? Like, does it help with a hangover having some cold, like, chicken fried noodles type thing? Because I do have chicken fried noodles from the local Chinese place. Quite nice. In fact, pizza is meant to bring happiness into people's lives, Hamish, and there's Sebastian for that one as well. Yeah, so I asked her for like one with extra pineapple, Sebastian, just because I know that that's like the best kind of pizza. That's a joke, by the way. I've never actually had pineapple on pizza. I want to try it and make it a video, but I know that will split like my community straight in half. Like some people will be like, you ate pizza with pineapple on it, you absolute weirdo. Or pineapple with pizza on it. Pizza with pineapple on it. I don't know what way I went. Kevon Williams has just scored for the USA. And they are now going to be a little bit further back into this contest, sitting 10 points to 12 in this one now. But Perry Baker is still going to be off the field for a little bit longer. Well, that's it. But they've done very nicely. And also we've got I'm about to make some cheese and onion hand pies. I'll take pics and put them on Discord. Oh, that sounds nice. Cheese and onion hand pies. Are they kind of like what we would call a savory, which is pretty much like a small one? And also, one final question: we see on the subscribe button, and there's says Sebastian. No, I wouldn't eat it without your consent, Sebastian. A pineapple on pizza, and also cold chow mein, cold Shanghai beef helps me oily protein, I guess. Says Gareth there, and also USA, and come on USA, let's go now USA. Says Vancouver, and there as well, of course, the location of the last sevens that these two sides were playing in. Currently, USA, they have got themselves back to 10 points to 12 here. Like they're saying, it's an extremely important kickoff for the USA. Okay, it looks like the referee is having a little bit of a technical difficulty. And also, it's a flaky, savory pie, kind of like what you get at Greg's. And there's also says Katie, I see. There you go. And also, I always like the idea of pineapple on pizza until I ate one. Overwhelming. Seriously, it would be very sweet, wouldn't it? Although I guess, does it depend a little bit on the pineapple? Like in the off season when the pineapples aren't as sweet, does that actually make them better on pizza if that is a possibility? Like I said, never had a nah, mate, you live your life. Let me stop you, the grass eating bloke. Says Sebastian. Yeah, I'm certainly not going to eat any grass anytime soon. That's for China, hello, brother. Thank you for the stream. I could not find a game one. And there says Vancouver. But I do know that World Rugby YouTube channel, after the day is over, if they are streaming it, which I believe they are, it does mean that they should have the full day replay for you to check out after this day is over. So I do recommend checking that out. That will be at about maybe 4 or 5 hours time. Hopefully they will end up uploading the full match like replay of all of the games. This is going to be now USA with the bounce pass, but it went forward just a little bit. And Noble was about to go in for the try. That could have been a massive opportunity for the USA there. Cheese and pineapple don't work. And there says Gareth, because I guess it's kind of sweet. What would it be? Sweet and dairy. Sweet and what would you describe cheese as? Like other than savory? Like would you call it I guess it's kind of a creamy? Like how does one describe cheese? Just cheese normally, to be honest. That's how I describe it. It's either cheese or not cheese. This is now going to be the scrum feed for the All Black Sevens side, and they are going to be driving forward. It's a nice bit of draw and pass out to Leroy Carter. Now going to be back in his space. He'd like to think he can win the foot race, and I think he might. And Perry Baker steamrolling his way in. It's a beautiful offload, though. Rocco Lisoya and Perry Baker. He's disappointed because that man came in like he was a freight train. Dairy as well as failed milk pretty much there, and it's cheesy. And there's Gareth there, but that is a brilliant try for Akula Rocco Lisoa. Where did Perry Baker came in like a house on fire, and Leroy Carter, when he looked over his shoulder and saw him, he thought, this is not good, because Perry Baker just running hard, and he was able to make the tackle, but then from there, a great offload from Leroy Carter. Socks. And there's us, says Fleshin. You would describe cheese as socks. It depends on which cheese you're describing. I guess a food of the gods it is. See, that's the thing. When you think about it, like some things are weird, like how they are made. Like cheese is one of them a little bit. Like Sebastian said, it's failed milk. Like sour cream, isn't that literally cream that they've done a weirdness to that's made it go bleh type thing? Or is that something else that I'm thinking of? Now taking it nicely. Yogurt is, what's yogurt? Fermented milk or fermented something. Now passing it back across. Now going to be a nice bit of step in there from, I believe it was Ben Brazil. Did have that ball there trying to turn that one over, New Zealand, but currently with a 9-point lead, they will be liking this very much. Now, nice step from Maceo Brown. Oh, he's gone through. He's going to be hard to stop. And Maceo Brown, that's not his name. It's actually going to be Noble, who did go in and score the try on the USA straight back in this game now. And this game seems like it's going to be, once again, just a little bit closer. I'm not sure why I was saying Maceo Brown. He is the number 4. That was the number 1 there. The form of Noble. And also, I do love soft blue smelly cheese. Do you? I've never had blue cheese, and I don't think I ever will. I'm very much like it. If the food doesn't smell right, I probably won't eat it. Yeah, and also, this is a belter, is this game. Says Sebastian with a 10 out of 10 it is. And we have talked about a lot of food throughout it as well. So hopefully anyone who has woken up in New Zealand to this game has got themselves some breakfast, because it is definitely early morning here. Currently sitting 5:42 a.m., but that one has gone over. So now the score is 17 points to the USA and 19 to New Zealand. Now the USA, they have got 45 seconds to try and get themselves this kickoff back. And they do kick off high, chased out by Joe Schroeder. He's a hard man to beat in the air. It's going to sit up, and Perry Baker has knocked it back onto the side of the USA. They are 40 meters out from the line and goes well on a burger. And good morning, bro. There's Vancouver there as well. So what time is it where you are? Vancouver, do let me know that ball's going to be going loose, and it does go into touch, and New Zealand now will have the line out. And also the first cheese came about from nomadic humans transporting milk and an animal's stomach sack. Nice. That's lovely. And someone went, oh, that's gone a bit lumpy. We'll just eat it. See, that's the thing. Who invented toast, and how did they manage to get it so that, like, why toast? Like, were they like, this loaf's too big, so we just cut it into pieces? That's going to be delayed too much from New Zealand, and that is the last thing they wanted there. As now it gets the ball back to the USA on the halfway line, and they have got one last attacking opportunity. If they do end up giving away this one, this will be absolutely huge for the USA. If New Zealand have made a clinical mistake, now Perry Baker goes back across. Now Thomas Singh goes across to Schroeder. There's a lot of space starting to open up. Brazil trying to break the tackle is unable to do so. Kitione Vai trying to make sure that they can't make their way too much further for the USA. They are currently inside of their own 22. Nice to see USA a challenge now. And there as well, Maceo Brown was on the outside. Noble goes for the risky offload. It goes straight into the hands of Perry Baker. Now trying to turn it over in the breakdown. They've still got it now, the USA. And they are continuing to use this final play to their advantage. Joe Schroeder, flat ball into the hands of Brozil. Still hanging on to it around the side. Yeah, this is nerve-wracking for both of these sides at this point in time. Now, that was good from New Zealand. They win the penalty, and they'll be able to close out the game. Come on, Amber Turds. As says Gareth, would also give us about 10 years. We're going to be scary in there. And 10:43 morning time, I wake up for this one game, and then I go back to sleep, says Vancouver, and go the Freedom Birds and blue cheese and bone marrow on a steak, says Gareth there. And also good morning, go with the All Blacks, smashed them, bro. And there as well, says Silosi. So they have been able to get themselves a win, 19 points to 17, and what was a very close game between these two sides. But ladies and gentlemen, we have still got another game of the URC that we are going to be covering next, and that will be the matchup between Ulster and the Sharks. Then after that game, we have got another game of the Sevens, and that will be the matchup taking place between Fiji and Wales. And then, if I'm smart, I will quickly find those next fixtures that we are going to have, that we are covering on the channel. Currently, Benetton beating Cardiff 29-0, which is a pretty good start to the match. And GG goal. And there, as I says, Katie Dixon, but nicely done by New Zealand. Well played both sides. Solid performances was indeed. The USA, they were right in it, and it was that clinical mistake at the end that almost cost them. Well, that one, New Zealand. But the games that we are covering tomorrow night, I believe, I'm just going to have a quick look and make sure that I know what ones they are. They are going to be Samoa versus South Africa. That is taking place at 10:22 p.m. And we will also have our other live streams simultaneously running for Super Rugby with different hosts while I am doing that one. Then after that, we have got the game between Fiji and France. That is at 12:34 a.m. So in about 17 hours, somewhere around there, maybe a few more actually, about 19 hours, I believe it is. And then we have got a few semi-final, quarter-final, etc. matches that we will be covering on the channel as well as the Super Rugby fixtures that are coming up for tomorrow. We've got a big day of rugby, that is for sure, but we've still got more tonight. In about 45 minutes' time, we're going to be back and rearing to go for another matchup of the URC. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Be sure to check out that URC live stream and also check out the Kiwi Lads Sport if you haven't already. That is the link. Be sure to go and hit subscribe over on that one. Is Donna going to host? And there says Gareth, I was going to have it as a secret, but I feel like it almost is secret enough seeing as we are at a late night one. So pretty much the plan is I'm going to end up doing the first 30 minutes of Brumbies versus Blues. Then from there, we're going to do some magical switcheroony, and Mum and George, match made in heaven. Don't tell George I said that. They are going to be doing the rest of that one for the 20 minutes that I'm away doing Samoa versus South Africa. They are going to be doing it from the kitchen or like the dining room on a different laptop, different microphone, different webcam, and you might still be able to hear me slightly in the background. Hopefully not too loudly though. And then after that 20 minutes, then from there, I think George is going to join me for the rest of the match, and then my mum will end up going to bed. In fact, George might actually end up leaving after that 20 minutes as well. So that is the plan. So it's going to be George and Mum doing about a 20-minute patch from 30 minutes onwards to about just after halftime, and then I will be coming back for the rest of that live stream. So it's going to be interesting. See how it does end up going, whether or not it runs smoothly or whether the Wi-Fi decides that it doesn't like us too much. But it was just Samoa versus South Africa. Now that there's set up that pretty much the winner of that game qualifies, like it's just too big of a game to miss for that one. So I was organised early, and I knew that that game was going to be one that possibly affected how everything was ranked. So yeah, that is the go. So we're going to have a George and Mum doing a little extra, I guess, a cameo without me, which will be the first time on live stream other than me like walking away for 2 minutes to put some chips on or get a drink or something like that. That will be the first time that it has been a non-Hamish live stream for like a patch. So it will be interesting. I'll probably hear George saying a whole heap of offensive stuff from the kitchen, but that's all right. Overall, but nonetheless, I guess we will see you guys back for the URC in only about 40 minutes now. In fact, it will be. Thank you all very much for tuning in. I know what to choose. I want to watch South Africa, but also George and Mum, says Gareth. Well, recommendation, I guess, 2 tabs, unless you're on a mobile device, actually, now that I think about it. You'll probably be able to hear both of us through both live stream. I'm so excited. Says Katie Dixon there as well. But yeah, so that is going to be during the Blues versus Brumbies one, taking place at about 10:20 New Zealand time, I believe, is when their little patch will start, or maybe about 10:15, just to give them a little bit more time to be able to find the ropes, I guess you could say, in that one. But yeah, there's a couple big matches. They will probably hear me telling you guys what the score is, and after it's finished, I will come in and tell you guys what the score was in the game as well. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. I feel like I could talk all morning, which probably is the only thing that will keep me awake at this stage with the amount that we are going to be doing tomorrow as well. But thank you all very much, and I will see you all for the URC live stream in about 40 minutes' time.